Yes, it's Thursday. Boom, 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 boom. Thursday evening means it's time for NFL around the UK. How are we doing, boys and girls? Or just boys, in fact.
I'm good. Week 3, another week longer than
episode 3, week 3.
I was literally waiting for this. I was like, "What? How are we going to dig at him again this week?"
Just straight in, every week. As soon as we get the flag out, it's going to be every single time. It's going to be an Aaron Rodgers. Have you been? Yep. Good week?
Yeah. I did have this weird thing about, obviously, with the 49ers. Oh, by the way, lovely t-shirts, Gary.
Lovely t-shirts. You're all looking very professional, boys. Very well done. Well done for finding a t-shirts and making sure you put them on.
Someone puts in the effort.
So, somebody's got to do the background work, right? Putting all the legwork in the background.
Anyway, I did think, how's my week going? I was like, yeah, my week's good. But John Lynch's must be horrendous, because imagine trying to negotiate a contract with Trent Williams.
Yeah, must be pretty difficult, because he's quite an imposing bloke, right? And that's the weird one, isn't it? It's like Trent Williams is just sitting there going, just give me the money. And everyone's like, we're going to give you the money. Trust me, please don't ask, but we're going to give you the money. But this guy's just making waves and everything else. And I suppose it's almost like you've segued into our first session already there, Alex. Welcome to News of the NFL. We're working on these, boys. Bear with us. It's a work in progress, but we're getting there. You will notice News of the NFL has kicked off. Alex already kind of set us on the scene with Trent Williams and the contract saga in Santa Clara, but specifically highlighting some of the things in that little segment, in that little intro. Dallas Cowboys, big payday for a wide receiver. Big set the market wide receiver, CeeDee Lamb getting an absolute bucket load of money. And then they went out and maybe set up the oldest running back room recorded ever.
It's a very weird cluster of people. It's a very strange group they've got there.
It's an odd one. You've got Dak, who's perennially on a contract year, it seems. And, every single year seems to be a make or break year for Dak. You've now got CeeDee Lamb, the highest paid wide receiver, massive amounts of money, young, talented, absolutely elite. And then the running back situation is Ezekiel Elliott, who in training, if anybody's seen preseason training videos, does not look ready for the season. And Dalvin Cook, who is coming off of a busted knee, and is also, shall we say, long in the tooth for a running back? What's going on in Arlington, Alec?
I think fair play to CeeDee Lamb getting the bag, getting a big bag of cash. Fair play.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about him last week of being one of the three that's kind of don't blink playing the chicken game, and obviously Jerry Jones and the ownership at Dallas decided, okay, we gotta bite the bullet and fire the trigger and push the trigger on it. So fair play to CD, as you say.
You never know how these contracts are really structured with kind of what they're going to do, but with it all being guaranteed, I think this comes back to the Deshaun Watson contract, and that opened up the floodgates, like where it was, we'll give you 100% guaranteed money now, and I think that is where a lot of people are falling down with. They want the 100% guaranteed. What does it mean for the Cowboys? If I'm Mark McCarthy, I'm not happy because. You've got an unhappy QB. Micah Parsons is going to be unhappy.
Yep.
Your free agents through this season are going to be tight with your salary cap kind of all tied up as well.
Yeah. You're not going to have much to play with wiggle room, and if injuries hit, as you say, dip into the free agency market because you haven't got anything really left.
So, I don't know. They clearly wanted to pay him. They paid him.
Yeah.
Great decision.
Great decision for CeeDee Lamb. But I mean, it's weird for Dallas because from an opposition point of view, they've really only got CeeDee Lamb. So you double team him out and he's getting $35 billion to be double teamed and not be a difference maker on a team that really needs him to be, because you don't feel, or maybe I'm just looking at it from cynical eyes, but you wouldn't fear that running back.
Maybe this is the plan. If everyone is marking CeeDee Lamb, no one will expect the running backs to do an absolute madness. Maybe this is the move all along.
The one question I think now probably hangs over the Cowboys that everyone's asking now is around Dak and whether
to QB or not to QB. That is the question.
That is the question.
Oh, there it is. You said you'd be dropping it in randomly. Oh, almost got double play there. Almost got it twice. And it worked that time. I heard it all the way through. Bargain. Brilliant. Absolutely.
What are they going to do with Dak?
I don't know. Are they going to bench Dak and put Trey Lance in? Because Trey's cheaper.
But then they're going to get nothing for Dak. Unless
they potentially have already left little hooks out there for a team needy for a QB starting, with a bit of money flattening around, a bit of spare cash. I'm pretty sure I heard, anyway, before we move into different news, QB moving here, there, and everywhere. There's being at the back end of Cleveland, so they really like their one starting QB in Cleveland. They seem to be shipping all their backups away. Going back to that Deshaun Watson, contract, they're so tied into that. I don't know what I don't know what Dallas can do with that, because he's not going to be happy now that CD's got so much money, and every other team out there has the QB making the most money, and then you've got Dallas doing Dallas things. I suppose it's the only way you can look at it. Don't know. He can't be happy. He's going to obviously be knocking on the door, going, "Oh, where's mine?" And as you say, Micah Parsons is also standing there going, "Excuse me, where's mine?" There's only so much you can go around, and coach has got to be sitting there going, I've got three players who are on, we just said those three, CD, Dak, and Mike are on, elite money. You've got to roster another 50 people on the cheap.
They can do it next year with Dak and CD. CD Lamb will be getting the £35 million cap hit, and then Dak will be getting the 40. But that's predominantly half your cap.
That's half your cap. And how much is Micah going to want?
Yeah. So
it does look like Jerry Jones has been talking about this, but it also looks like he's been talking about this in the most Jerry Jones way possible. So
Jerry speak.
He does indeed. So he says that with CD Lamb signing a long-term extension, Dak Prescott and Micah Parsons should be next. Cowboys owner and GM Jerry Jones told reporters on Wednesday that negotiations with the star quarterback remain unchanged. It'll remain like it's been, Jones said. Very, very helpful. Thank you very much. We don't need to get this done before the season because it's in all of our interest, Dak and everybody, to have a great season. That's probably not realistic to think we will do it before the season. But then he just comes out with two of the most potentially contradicting and really stupid sentences, which are just the most Jerry Jones things ever. But my thought sitting here right now is that we will have Dak, open brackets, as Cowboys quarterback in 2025 and beyond, full stop. But all I'm going to say is this. It's not done yet. Give us a fucking bone, Jerry. What are you doing?
Could that be more political answer? I thought I picked up. I did pick up it's on both of our interests for Dak to have a good year.
Yes.
Line. That was a bit telling to me of a...
Feels quite a pointed comment, I think.
Yeah, you want the money, Dak. Prove it like you did previously.
Prove you're worth money, and then we'll do money.
Yeah, but then it had before when he busted his leg,
though.
Yeah.
I could say the same to I'd rather pay Dak than CD Lamb, I think. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
I would, as a GM, you pay your quarterback and you say to your wide receiver, okay, it's the 5th year of your rookie contract. You're contracted. You've got to play. Contracted as a rookie. You have to play your 5th year. Prove it. Go out and continue what you've been doing for us. And we will throw the bag at you next year. But we've got to pay up QB right now. That would be a sensible GM approach. But it's Jerry. So
let's talk other quarterbacks.
Steelers, yeah, as I say, Steelers have decided that Russell Wilson is their number one starting QB. I don't know how Steelers fans feel. I know Denver Broncos fans are probably laughing into their cornflakes. And
I think especially after
Seahawks fans are probably thinking, what are you doing?
I just think after preseason that has potentially got to be a little bit underwhelming. I mean, I suppose it always seemed very much like he was like going to be the nailed on starter, but I guess the question now is just for how long? Presumably, right, Justin Fields is going to be that succession plan. Like, I don't know. I guess it depends how the season goes. But like, how long do you boys see Wilson holding down that spot? Like, do you think?
So,
do you
so
think he's
you
gonna be
asking
there
the
all
question,
season if he does
Matty? Are you asking the question?
To QB or not to QB? That is the question.
Yeah, we're talking about
nicely set up there, Alec.
the
Nice.
Pittsburgh Steelers, and I'm the segment stealer. That's exactly what I'm asking.
Nice. Excellent. Yeah, I do know.
Week 2, he'll definitely play because he plays the Broncos.
Oh yeah, it's got to be done just
So
purely for
the Broncos
entertainment.
could actually be paying a quarterback to beat
To
them.
play against them. Yep.
Okay, that's
only in the NFL. Only in the NFL that could happen. Although, obviously, probably similar. Anyway,
Gary, who changes their quarterback more, the Steelers or New England?
Well,
this season, with
this
Brissett
season
being named as a starter.
Oh, I would suggest probably the Patriots. Patriots are going to be yo-yoing that starting QB, or that not even starting QB, the QB under center, but 2 weeks in, 2 weeks out, 2 weeks. It's going to be one of those because neither of them obviously fill them with massive amounts of confidence, but maybe they want that steady hand of Brissett, who's been around long enough just at the start of the season. Then they might throw Drake May in for a couple and then go, oh, he's still not quite ready, pull him back. I think there's going to be a bit of yo-yoing there, whereas I think the Steelers are kind of, they'll ride with Russell. Let's ride. Got to get that one in, sorry. Oh, I could feel it coming as I was getting to it. It's like, I can't help but say this.
I feel dirty. I need to shout.
I do. It's like, ugh. Made me feel horrible at that. But I think they'll go with it until they... such a stink that they'll see what Justin's got, and that could be because, as we mentioned, I think Matty mentioned it last week, this could be the season that the Steelers, and therefore at some point they might just go give us 4 games and see what you've got, just at the end of it when everything's gone belly up.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a weird decision to go with Brissett in New England. If I'm honest, I would have kind of just gone.
It's going to be a bad year, right? It's going to be bad in New England this year.
Yeah.
Unless they're going with the protect the young kid from being Bryce Young.
But he's not going to win it. He's not going to be in a winning culture, and he's not like he's learning from someone. Like he's not like he's Jordan Love sitting behind Aaron Rodgers or Aaron Rodgers sitting behind Brett Favre. That's the problem.
He's not. Do you get him used to getting battered like Bryce Young did at Carolina, and literally, broke the poor kid's spirit? Who knows if he'll ever recover from? Or
I think New England are a better organization to let that happen, though. So. Fourth quarter, you're down by 25. They're keeping Bryce Young in. I think New England are a little bit. Mayo's probably a little bit more like, let's put him out.
Let's put him out and give some. When this game's done, let's not prolong the pain. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I think there'd be a better run organisation to go with it. It seems an odd decision, unless there's maybe there's an injury there, but it seems odd that they've gone that route.
I was just looking at their schedule just to see if they've got a tough start and then it maybe eases up a bit and they're going to try and kind of ease Drake May into this, but their schedule is pretty rough. Yeah, there's no any nice.
I'm going to go Jags week. Is it week 6, week 8 when they're in England?
Week 7. Yeah, Jags Patriots week 7.
That's when I'm going to go that they change over week 7.
Oh, that schedule is actually honking. That is not nice.
It is a brutal schedule.
Oh dear.
The more you're looking at that, it's like
Patriots fans. That really. Bengals, Seahawks, Jets, Niners, Dolphins, Texans, Jags, Jets, Titans, Bears, Rams, Dolphins, Colts, Cardinals, Bills, Chargers, Bills.
And they weren't great last year, so how come they've got such a stinker of a schedule?
That's what I mean. It's not as if they just lost in the
Their
AFC
division.
title game. That's
Did they win that division last year? No.
No, their division is that they're playing what division? What division are they playing?
Yeah, they've just got unlucky, and they're playing all of the. Well, yeah, they've got Niners, Seahawks, Cardinals, and the Rams. So they've
they're
got
playing the NFC West.
Yeah.
Are they playing the AFC West as well?
Yeah, because they got the Texans, Jags,
That's the South.
Colts.
Oh yeah, they got AFC South.
Yeah,
AFC
South.
South.
Sorry. So it's just a brutal schedule. 2 divisions that are just tough divisions.
Yeah.
Lord,
Yeah,
that's
there's no
even
weak
their-
team in either of those divisions, is there? I mean,
they're in division games as well. Like they're in a strong division. Like that is brutal.
yeah, that is going to be a baptism of fire. For
And
that
10 years ago,
transition.
their division was pants.
10 years, Brady could stroll their division at 8-6 and go to the Super Bowl, and he literally. So, many times they did that.
Patriots, I believe in you. But also, as someone who has not been into the league for this long, may this potentially be payback for causing years of misery for other teams' fans? Question mark.
Leave it out there, deflate gate and pay. Karma.
Yeah.
Sounds like we're warming up for something, Matty. Sounds like we're warming up for
Grumble,
something.
grumble. And then obviously other backup QBs moving around, which I thought was an interesting one, and why I put that little charger, because Chargers are going to charger in that news segment. Taylor Heineke going to back up Justin Herbert. Now I thought it was an interesting one going from, because Heineke's got starting experience and he's been around the block, and Justin Herbert looks bad in preseason. He's obviously still, recovering from the having plantar fascia, strangely enough, like everybody else does. But
I think they're obviously worried, aren't they?
They've obviously got some concerns there, and is that the sign that maybe Justin Herbert isn't the golden boy in LA? I almost said San Diego there, in LA anymore, and new broom coming in. Maybe there's a bit of rumbling. Or am I just clutching?
I could imagine it's quite easy to get on the wrong side of Jim Harbaugh. Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. He just strikes me as a fella.
A bit black and white, isn't it? If you've not, put the effort in, or if you don't turn up at the gym, or you kind of coast a bit. Like he seems the type of coach that might bench you for a game just because, even if it might be detrimental to the squad and detrimental to the team, but just because you didn't listen to him, he does seem the type that'll be like, no, you're sitting this one out.
Stop it. You're making me fall in love with the Chargers even more. That sounds just my kind of petty. I absolutely love it. Oh, my God.
Chargers are chargering already.
I want to touch on this one as well, because I see it all over the UK media, and it kind of winds me up a little bit.
Oh, don't be doing it. Don't be doing it. Don't steal my thunder.
Oh, okay. I won't then. Is it a certain Chiefs player that's no longer a Chiefs player? Okay, go for it. Is that a good segue? Go for
the
it.
Chiefs
Perfect segue.
Mahomes, are you kidding me?
Perfect segue, because this is a brand new segment coming to the show. This is Grimes Gary's Gears after last week, where we mentioned about the comeback player of the year, and I got somewhat hot under the collar, shall we say. Matty, your edit and that little TikTok is perfect for that.
Genuinely one of my favorite things I've ever edited in my life. That was amazing.
One of the most amusing things. So this is the new segment where I let rip on things that have been bugging me, and as Alec just alluded to, very recent, very new. Huge furore over this side of the pond in terms of, he's going through the IPP. He's a great rugby player. He's done very well for Wales. Not done that well. It's been better rugby players. But, he's a very pretty boy. He's done very well for Wales. He's gone and made the jump to the NFL. He's given it a go. He's given up, playing professional rugby and gone all in. And fair play to him for trying that. Fair play to him for trying that. He gave it. The Chiefs signed him on a freebie, in effect, from the IPP. Tried him out in a bit of preseasons. It was inevitable he was probably not making the 53 roster. And anybody who had any other signs or any other thoughts, where have you been? Have you not been watching the NFL? Have you not seen that these kids have played NFL football since they were 7? There's no way a guy who's only just picked it up a season and a half ago is going to make the 53-man roster of the Super Bowl champions, just to point out, if it's with any other team. And yet, somehow now, he's been picked up by the Jags. It's huge, and the NFL UK media is literally creaming their pants at the fact that he is signing with the Jags. Probably on the practice squad, people. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. But oh my God, the London games when the Jags come to town are going to be insufferable. He is going to be everywhere. I would not be surprised if they cheesily borrowed the New York Jets. Let's get Louis Rees-Zammit to run out with the Union Jack flag, even though he'll probably not suit up. But oh my God, I cannot believe how much everyone is fawning over what is in effect the standard method of IPP. They try them out, they give them a bit of preseason. Everyone goes, yeah, maybe not quite good enough. Go and sit on the practice squad, disappear into the ether. Christian Wade scored an amazing preseason touchdown when he was a running back at the Buffalo Bills. That was the last time he touched a football. He disappeared again. This is what's going to happen to Louis Rees-Zammit. Stop making him into some sort of Welsh footballing messiah. It's not going to happen.
I 100% agree with you, Garrett. Like, it's one of those. It wound me up. The one that I really feel sorry for, he was like number 8 in UK jerseys sold. Yeah. And that's like, yeah, great. I get it. Like, buys, but that's just to fans that are just getting into the sport. Like, these jerseys are a lot of money. Like, they're never going. They don't understand that you're not going to see them on the field. I think it's just ludicrous. Total disrespect.
Ludicrous that they put that as an option to buy a jersey at, as you say, 120 quid and have Rees-Zammit put on the back of it, because you're charging by the letter most of the times. A lot of letters to put on a shirt that now what do you do with it? Use it as a tea towel? I mean, and honestly, him signing with the Jags is just a jersey selling move. It's pure and simple what it is. And as you say, it's playing to the gullible, or if you like, an avid fan base. And yes, people are, the UK has done well, and the Jaguars have done well to build that UK fan base. But don't do something quite so blatantly obvious that's a marketing ploy. You just want to sell your new throwback jerseys, and yet you'll get people buying the throwback jerseys and putting Rees-Zammit's name on it. Anyway, I need to go in.
I'm getting a subtle vibe that you might have an opinion on this issue, Gary. Yeah, I feel you. I think I guess the reason it was made such a big deal, right, was because obviously of, I guess, when he decided to make the switch, right? Like, obviously it's quite unprecedented that he made that switch while he was still so young and kind of very much at the top of the old game of ruggers. Actually, please never let me on that podcast again. I swear I will never say that again. Ah, gosh. Okay. Wow, we are sinking to new depths, people. We really are. It's only week 3, but yeah, it's one of those things that it is a story. Obviously, it's a shame. Like you said, it's not the most surprising thing to happen this week, but it's just seems to have been blown quite out of proportion, which the UK media never normally does. So this is never a big surprise.
Also, what about Praise Olataku? Not a word about him. I'm pretty sure he made the squad.
Was he with the Saints?
No, he was with. I think he made the practice squad.
No, he did. Yeah, because he's Scottish and Nigerian as well as
Scottish Nigerian sprinter, wide receiver. I'm pretty sure he made a squad somewhere, but nothing about him.
That won't get the clicks, Gary.
My biggest with it, Gary, is that they need understanding that that's a skilled position. So wide receiver is a position where it's multitasked. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can kind of get it if you're going to be a kicker or a punter, because there's not a lot of playbook to go that. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's hard. These guys have been kicking for, like you said, that since they've been 10 all the way up. but they're easier positions to transition into. Playing wide receiver and understanding X, Y, Z, slot, motion, like that takes years to grasp. Understanding footwork, understanding pivot points, like it's just something that's ingrained into that American history of the played it all the way through. To someone to learn that game in 12, 18 months. Is impossible to play professionally.
It's impossible because, as you say, you can't do it because he's still thinking of how do I do this cut as he's running, rather than as you say, a guy who's been playing wide receiver for 15 years. They just know. They just know. They're just better because they've been doing it. They don't have to go, how do I run a 10-yard and out, because I have to, it's just natural for them. They've done it so often.
It's the tackling. I've seen it. There was a great bit of film that was broken down around the fact that he runs into his tackles too high, because in rugby you're taught to take the impact and run through the impact, as in NFL, American football, you're taught to get low and make your body as small as possible to get underneath the impact and power through it and drive through it, because of the different laws of the game. It's okay to go down in rugby because you just restart again and recycle. In the NFL, it's not the case. I think I think with the special teams changing as well, I just think he didn't have a chance of making the team. I think the Chiefs knew what they were doing.
Chiefs knew that they were getting marketing. Chiefs knew they were getting headlines. Chiefs knew that people were going to be watching. Never was, they gave him some preseason snaps for TV and whatever else. And yes, it's blatant. NFL's a business; it's a ploy. The Chiefs have got some new UK fans out of it.
I just think if you look at specifically how the Chiefs have been doing, right, it is presumable that they know what they are doing. Obviously the Chiefs are in that very weird position at the moment, right? They've back-to-back Super Bowls, everything with like Travis and Taylor. Like, what more could the Chiefs do to try and become like everyone's team? Let's sign Lewis Reese Summit. That's going to be huge for like UK fans. Of course it is. Like, again, if it is not clear enough by the fact they've won back-to-back Super Bowls, this team knows what they're doing on the field and off the field. They know what they're doing. And presumably, as much as it is a shame not to see him make the team, they would know if he was good enough to make the team. I am sure they would have made the right decision. And it's a shame that he hasn't, but who are we to argue with a team that is as successful as they are right now?
Exactly. World champions, as they call themselves, Super Bowl champions. They know how the game works. It's quite safe to say.
They are partial to a game of American football, yes.
I am looking forward to Gary's Gears next week.
Yeah.
That worked well.
Really 40. Keeping Gears going.
When he, when we were talking about this segment today, and he was like, right, I just need to find some content for it. And I thought, how angry could he possibly get in the space of a couple of hours? That is the angriest I've ever seen, Gary. You were really worked up there, my friend.
That really has, it's got me. That has, it's so much so that we've managed to.
Alec has been scared away.
Scared away by that. So that'll be a returning segment, I'm guessing. But my blood pressure might need to be monitored next week.
Yeah, just keep an eye on it. Keep an eye.
And I didn't even get onto the second half, which was kind of the Twitter, everyone going, "Oh, Brandon Ayuk's practicing. Is he practicing? Is he not? Is he? Yes. Is he not? Who cares? Just tell us when there's an update or there isn't an update. Don't keep going in and out." But that's the second segment. We'll save that for next week.
No, but I feel that there's nothing worse than updateless updates. Like, I messaged someone at work the other day being like, "Oh, can you just check in on this thing for me?" 4 hours later, and they're like, "Yeah, no worries. I'll let you know when it's got looked into." I'm like, just what was the point in that?
Yeah,
that's an updateless update.
What's the point? And there's so many, and it's like, who's going to be first to give the update that there is no update? And it's just like, I get it's the social media world and everything else, but that's another. There's loads of fans who just want an answer.
Being the NFL outsider, obviously I have a lot of respect for the work that I have a lot of respect for the work that my indoor colleagues do. The insiders do a good job. They just let me watch them stood outside in the rain, but I appreciate what they do, and hopefully eventually they will invite me inside one day. But I do feel like sometimes a lot of what they bring is like, oh yeah, the situation is still the same, and then they kind of fill out like 3 minutes of, this is information I already knew. You've just presented it to me in a slightly different way. Thanks for that. Like,
Yeah, great.
just
It's like we've read this now 15 times with slightly different words. It's
come
like,
back to me when something else happens, please.
Do you
Thank
not agree
very
that the NFL is the best at doing that?
Oh, it's brilliant at it. Absolutely
And
brilliant.
I have
there's not another
never-
sports channel that is good at doing that as the NFL.
I've never known a machine be able to pump out so much content when there is nothing happening.
Nothing.
Like, obviously, the NFL offseason is quite long, and obviously, there's stuff like the draft and there's mini camps and all that stuff. But for all that space where there is nothing, there are still shows like Good Morning Football. And I love Good Morning Football, but it's on every day. Like, even when there is literally nothing happen. And they fill out their 3 hours every day talking about stuff. Like, it is insane. Like, it needs to be studied how they keep pumping out all this stuff when there is nothing happening. Like, it's insane.
It's an insanely well-run entertainment business.
Similar to the Chiefs, they know what they are doing.
They know what they are doing. They do know it. This, as you're right, it's amazing. There's millions of fans out there hanging on to updates when there is nothing because they're so desperate for the season to start. They're so desperately engaged, and it's
just clamoring for any tiny drip of anything.
Oh, he's wearing a red T-shirt today. Oh my God, he must be signing. That kind of stuff. And it is, the memes are out there going. It's getting to that time where for the next, my emotions for a team to ruin my life, and it's all joking aside. It's like that for some people, and I think not. I think I'd like to say UK fans are a little more circumspect or more balanced around their NFL teams. Because it tends to be late in the evening or late at night, whatever else, and it's not quite so immediate because it's a distance and it's slightly different. Some fans are different. Obviously, some fans really get into it, but I don't think our weeks are too much. Maybe the next day is not great if the 49ers lose, but it's soon. It's not like bread and butter, life or death, or bleeding for it. And I think it's different in the States. Obviously, I think the money situation, the gambling, the sports books, and everything else adds to that. But I think, it's just so bizarre how invested so many millions of people are in no news.
There's nothing worse than staying up to watch your team at 1 a.m. in the morning till 4 a.m. and seeing them not putting in the effort.
Step out the end zone.
That is, I generally went to bed that night going, I'm never watching this sport ever again.
Never staying up for a Monday Night Football ever again.
Yeah.
No, but I get what you mean to a point. Like, I feel like, we chatted on the Premier League show yesterday. Nothing puts me in a bad mood quite like watching Chelsea Football Club does. They have a way with me. Nothing annoys me quite as much as that. But that visceral feeling of staying up for the Super Bowl, and it was like 4:30 in the morning, and you were just sat there thinking, like, oh my God, I just have to go to bed now? ? Like, that's just it. And I remember I had booked the next day off work, obviously because I was staying up for the Super Bowl, but I had forgotten to clean my van out for the person picking it up. So I was stood there at 5 in the morning just cleaning my van. It was freezing cold, and I was like, someone is coming to pick this up in like 2 hours, and I'm just stood here thinking, like, I hate this so much. Like, it's so weird. And I also feel like that encapsulated the life of an English NFL fan. So I was just stood there by myself. There was just no one else. I was like, everyone else is just going about their lives. I'm just here.
Daily, like Sunday night sleep. They don't realise that, for hundreds of UK fans are sitting, distraught for this few hours. But it is, it's
for this thing that's happened thousands of miles away, not just like, it's happened like in London. This thing has happened somewhere I will potentially never visit in my life. But has it ruined my evening? Absolutely.
but as you say, you're sensible enough to take the Monday off, the Super Bowl off. But there are those who go to work and kind of have to, survive, get by, act as normal. So it's a weird one. It is a weird one. But yeah, you're right. It's an amazing machine how they keep churning out nothing but have so
talking Super Bowls. I think it's time to do some way too early predictions. What do you reckon, Gary?
Early predictions. I'm loving it. Way too early. Now, before we dive into our predictions for divisional winners, we did ask Paul Redmond from the Good Teams Win, Great Teams Cover. Yep, that's the way around. Podcast to join us, but unfortunately he had some prior engagements today. But he was kind enough to do a pre-recording of his predictions. Now I have listened to it, and Paul, do a very blatant plug for his own channel. So do listen out
Do
for that at the beginning of his show. Just listen in, and then we'll get into our predictions afterwards.
Paul Redman here from Good Teams Win, Great Teams Cover. I'm here to share my division winners with you guys ahead of the 2024 NFL season. Apologies I couldn't make the show. Sadly, a prior engagement, but I'll hopefully be on with you guys at some point during the season. You wanted to know my division winners, so I'm going to share them. But before I get to that, a reminder for everyone, make sure you give us a follow. Good Teams and Great Teams Cover. We are a NFL, UK-based NFL podcast with a focus on all things gambling. Your best bets, your tips, preseason bets, weekly bets, your spreads, your totals, your prop bets. We cover everything at Good Teams and Great Teams Cover, and we usually win, which is good. So make sure you give us a follow to get our podcast. It's available on Spotify, Good Teams and Great Teams Cover. Also, you can catch it on YouTube at GTW_GTC is the name of the channel. Also, use that same tag, same handle to find us on Twitter, X, whatever you call it, Instagram, TikTok for the rest of our content. Hopefully we'll have you following along and listening to all our wonderful bets for the season. You might want to take note of some of these ones because I've got my division winners for you, well thought out division winners. I'll give you a little bit of a reason why as well. Let's start in the AFC. We'll start with the AFC East. I've got the New York Jets to win the division. I've got the Jets with 13 wins, just beating out the Bills on a tiebreaker. Aaron Rodgers' revenge tour, I think, obviously injured within 4 snaps of the 2023 season. I think he's going to be coming back and making a statement. We know the defense is good, and we know he's got some great weapons already in Garrett Wilson. Breece Hall's due for, I think, we'll have a fantastic season, an explosive one, and a very productive one. And it's win now for the New York Jets. So, I've got the Jets edging out the Bills to win the AFC East and break that playoff hoodoo that's been going on with the Jets. On to the AFC North, I've got the Baltimore Ravens winning it again. Fully expecting another strong season from the Baltimore Ravens. I've got them at 14 wins, and again, I think they'll just edge out the Bengals to win that AFC North. I think that defense is something special. We saw just how much pressure it was able to produce last year. I think it led the league in 60 sacks. They've got a superstar in Kyle Hamilton, just stars everywhere on that defense, and MVP Lamar's back, of course, as well. So we'll see with Derrick Henry how the running game goes for the Ravens and how different it might be with a different weapon in the backfield. But I'm expecting the Ravens to continue their recent good form and, yes, win the AFC North, what should be a very good AFC North. Again, all 4 teams had a winning record last year. On to the South, I've got the Houston Texans winning the AFC South. A couple of games ahead of the Colts and the Jaguars. The Texans' turnaround has been nothing short of remarkable, and I'm expecting them to push on. I've still got them at the same record, 9-8, but to win another AFC South. We all, can wax lyrical about CJ Stroud, the trade for Diggs. They've got Neil Hunter in as well on top of that defense to make that defense stronger. So, I'm expecting the Texans led by D'Amico Ryans to have another fantastic season. And then, no surprise, Kansas City Chiefs to win the AFC West 9 in a row. I think there'll be, quite a few games clear of the next best team in the AFC West. Just to fill out the playoffs, just for the AFC, I've got the Bills, the Bengals, and the Dolphins making it in. So 3 from the AFC East make it in. And then on to the the NFC. The Eagles to win the East. My Dallas Cowboys sadly not going to repeat as division winners. We saw the Eagles fall away at the back end of last year. I think they'll fix some of those problems. And also, we've not seen a team win the AFC East consecutively for over 20 years. So, it won't be the Cowboys. I think the next best team to do it are definitely the Philadelphia Eagles. The Lions to repeat in the North. Another strong year for the Detroit Lions. So close to making the Super Bowl last year. I think we'll see another strong season for Detroit. I've got them at 13 wins. The New Orleans Saints to win to come out of what is going to be the worst division in the NFL, the NFC South. The Saints just ahead of the Falcons for me at 9-8, and the Saints to make the playoffs. And then San Francisco 49ers. Yeah, you'll be happy to hear that, chaps. To win the NFC East, 13-4. Again, another strong year expected from the Niners, who went so close last year to winning it all, as you well know. But yeah, I think the Niners, again, just too much for the Rams in the NFC West. But I think the Rams will push them closer than they did last year. I think maybe one game in it between those two teams. So yeah, unsurprisingly, then my 3 wildcard teams are the Rams, the Packers, and the Cowboys. So a very similar playoff look to last year. So thanks again, guys, for letting me be part of your preseason prediction show on NFL around the UK. You guys are doing a fantastic job. Great to see you back up and running. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing your content all across the NFL season in 2024. And hopefully you'll have me back. But yeah, enjoy the rest of the show, guys. Thanks for having me on.
There we go. Cheers, Paul. Nice one for that. Really appreciate you taking the time to do that. It's awesome.
Where was Paul from?
Did you not pick up where Paul from the Good Teams Win, Great Teams Cover?
Where can I follow him on social media?
You can follow him all over social media. Fair play to him. I did say he did.
And does he have a podcast as well? That
he does have a podcast.
Does he have any other medium? Yeah, what the hell?
And is it right in saying that his podcast covers all NFL and betting?
Yeah, with a focus on betting. Yes.
Focus on betting.
And I can get that from Spotify.
Or wherever you get your podcasts.
Okay.
As long as you look for GTW, GTC. Obviously, there was a little bit of a thing.
Just open.
And hopefully, Paul knows we are pulling his leg, but no, really appreciate it.
Yeah,
He's a good friend of the show. Appreciate it. And as he's right, we will get him on, especially probably in the lead up to the 49ers Cowboys game. It would be silly not.
Ooh.
Last time we got him on for that. So I took a big.
He's our good luck charm.
Yeah, he's a good luck charm. So took a good note of what you've got there. I suppose we should dive into ours before we kind of start to pick apart everybody else's. Who wants to go first with their predictions? One of you's got to say it. One of you, all right.
I'll quickly run. So we got AFC North. I've got Ravens.
No. Start with AFC East because Paul went. I've written them down in Paul's order. So AFC East for me.
I think he's smoking something very different to what I'm smoking.
He's on some green something there, isn't he? Yeah.
Miami.
Oh. Okay.
I think the Jets boat is slowly falling apart. After reading Aaron Rodgers,
only just now.
So it's even started. Oh, dear.
Aaron Rodgers is not a team player. Apparently, is what's coming out the.
Who would have thought?
So, excuse me, what are we talking about?
Wow.
No.
Sorry, Gary. Where did you want me to go to next?
Surely Packers fans are sitting there falling off their chairs and in absolute laughter right now. AFC North, please.
Ravens.
Yeah. Okay. And then South?
Texans.
Okay. A bit of a theme. And obviously the West.
I've got to go KC.
We were all waiting for the Kansas playoffs again. We're all hanging on there. I love the pregnant pause as well. Yes.
Yes, Kansas City. I think they'll win it. As much as I really want to go Broncos.
They don't have the running backs. They don't.
Yeah, double down on it. The Chiefs aren't making the playoffs. Double down.
Yeah, do it. Lean in.
There's a reason why we don't have any sponsors, boys, it is because of that clip, and I can only apologise. I've cost us millions.
Millions of people left, especially with Taylor. When the Swifties find out, we're in real trouble.
And we would have made it too if it weren't for your terrible prediction.
Who have you got making the playoffs then? Because I've got what Paul put there is the Jets leading in the East with the Bills and the Dolphins, but all making it, which I thought was an interesting one.
Yeah, so my kind of number one seed out of that, I think, will be the Texans.
Number one seed,
yeah. I think they'll be the Texans. I think they're quite set up. We'll get into it. I just think they'll be set up pretty decently. On the fringes, I think the Browns are going to be there. I think the Browns are going to be a wild card team, along with the Jets.
All right. There's one missing.
Oh, yeah. So, sorry, there's one missing. Colts as well.
Colts coming in there.
Ooh.
They're always a sneaky wild card team that come in. I think the Chargers could be there, but I think there's something going on with Herbert. Yeah, there's something going on with Herbert.
Go on, Matty. What you got? Oh, sorry. NFC now. East first. Sorry.
We'll quickly run through this. So I've got Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
Then you want the North first. I'm gonna go. So I've gone Green Bay.
Ooh, yeah, it's one of those ones you can toss a coin for this one, I think. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Falcons,
South.
Niners.
Ooh, yeah.
Falcons, Niners.
Playoff.
Playoffs coming through. I'm going to go Washington, Rams. I really want to say Vikings, but I'm going to go Lions.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh no, forget it.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Forget it. I'm going Vikings.
Oh,
Sam Darnold, comeback player of the year.
Don't get me started. I've already done my segment. You can't do
Where's
that.
it coming back from?
Rubbish. It's possibly the best
I-
edited clip ever.
I think the Lions don't get more than 8 wins.
Oh,
We
don't let
I'm really down on the Lions. Really am down. I can see this going 49ers way as well. So Lions fans don't go. I can see the Niners falling apart and starting the season maybe somewhere around 3-1, 3-2.
Yeah.
I do get what you mean about the Lions, though. I do kind of worry that I feel like last year they had that.
They
It was
got
just like
so
really
high, right?
feel
So
good, and it
high.
almost felt like it was the fairy tale year. They literally started the season beating the Chiefs, and it felt like it was all just set up for them to go through, make it to the big game against the Chiefs again, and do it. And I also feel like there was that quote, wasn't there, from Dan Campbell after they lost against the Niners, where he was like, "I sat there and told the guys that could have been our only chance." And I feel like that feels quite poignant. I'm not saying that is going to happen, but I get what you mean. I have this feeling of like, are they?
Without binning on them too much as well. Like if I'm a player, especially if I'm Goff, and those limited options those playoff wins are limited. I'm not in the Dan Campbell camp. I'm saying you've cost me a trip to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, there's a bit of we could have made that if you'd have
Better coaching, better time management,
better decisions, kicked a couple of times rather than going for fourth down all the time. There's a few things there that might come out. The cracks are there and they might not be showing, but if
the only thing that helps is they do have an easy start.
Yeah.
I guess also the worry is like potentially. I mean, I know this feels like it happens a bit less in the NFL than maybe in other sports, but like have the Lions been figured out a little bit? Like I feel like last year they might have been that kind of enigma. Like no one was we thought they were going to be good, but no one was really expecting them to be quite as good as they were, and they really came out the gates punching, and they're a really fighting team. Maybe if people now know what to expect a little bit more, is it potentially going to be different this season? Like I said, I could be totally off base here, but I have.
I mean, they did air it out a fair bit last year, but they kind of had to because the defense sucked. And I think the fact that they've strengthened their defense might make it a bit different. They might utilize the run game a bit more because they were a bit.
Division's brutal though, Gary, as well. That division's brutal.
Brutal division. It is. Right, Matty. AFC East. Let's start with you. Let's run through them. Let's get them all down, and then we can start to rip them apart.
Let's absolutely do it. Right, AFC East. I am standing by my team, which is probably going to bite me in the balls, but I've gone for the Buffalo Bills winning the AFC East.
Okay.
AFC North. I've gone for the Cincinnati Bengals on the provision that they can keep Joe Burrow fit. Not that I'm saying I will change my prediction should he get injured. That's my thinking here. If he stays upright, I think they win the division. If he stays not upright, that prediction may look honking in a bit of time.
My top prediction in the other podcast, Matty.
Mate, I never make bad predictions. I don't know. AFC South, I've gone for the Texans.
Okay.
And AFC West, I've gone for the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Chiefs. Sorry, people.
Yeah. And your playoff teams from this?
Yeah, I'll go through the whole thing in seeded order. So I think the Bengals are going to be the number 1 seed. I think the Chiefs are going to be the 2nd seed. I think Texans will be 3rd. Bills will be 4th. Then 5th will be the Ravens. 6th will be the Dolphins. And just because I couldn't not do it to myself, 7th will be the Chargers. I think they're still going to make it. I'm going for it. I couldn't leave myself out.
I knew they'd be in somewhere.
Has to be a little bit of misery in there, Gary. Come on now. Have you met me?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So moving over to the NFC side of things. NFC East, I think the Eagles will get the division done over there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
NFC North, I'm not going to lie, this might be the rowdiest prediction of the lot. I am all in on what they are doing, and I'm going to go with the Chicago Bears winning the NFC North.
Ooh, the Bears.
The Bears.
Bear down.
Please don't clip that, Alec. NFC South, I'm going to go with the Atlanta Falcons.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure I predicted that last season. That did not go well. And the NFC West, I've got the Niners winning the division. So again, running through them in seeded order, I think the Niners are going to be the 1 seed, which I don't feel overly confident about saying that, but I'm going for it. Eagles will be the 2 seed. I think Bears will be the 3 seed.
Ooh, so you're saying he's going to win 10, he's in 12 games?
Going for it. I'm going for it. I'm all in.
Wow.
I'm all in on the Bears. I have to be all in on a stupid team at least once a year. It's got to be done. And the Falcons will be the 4th seed. Then slinking into the playoffs, I'm going to have the Rams as the 5th seed. I as much as I don't like to say it, I think I'm quite excited for the Rams this year. I think they're going to be a good team. I think the Lions are going to take 6th and the Packers will take 7th. I was really wanting to put the Commanders sneaking in there, but I've not done it.
3 from the north. Just
I am going 3 from the north. We're going very north heavy.
That means there's going to be a few firings.
I think this season could get interesting. I don't know. I feel like there's going to be some big capitulations. I feel like 2 of them feel like they're kind of staring us right in the face. Like I feel like the Jets, like you said, I know Gino is going to tell me I'm wrong, and he's absolutely in his right to do so. But I just feel like it's just they need it to work a bit too badly.
Yeah,
and
pressure's on that.
That doesn't fill me with confidence. And I again love Paul, love everything he does. You can find him somewhere. I can't remember what he said. But I don't have a good feeling about the Cowboys. I really don't. Like the fact they've got this CD Lamb contract done is good, but it even feels like they've done that in a way that might annoy other people. Like I just feel like it's I don't know. Yep. I do not have good feelings about these teams.
Yes. All right. I guess I better run through mine. So I have the Dolphins winning the East.
Good decision, Gary. Good decision.
Yeah. Straight in with the Dolphins. I can see McDaniel kind of really opening the playbook out there. I've got the Ravens are winning the North. Umming and ahhing the Ravens. It's too easy. Umming and ahhing with the Bengals, but I think they're just a bit too
No Jamar Chase.
No Jamar Chase. He's going to be out for a couple of weeks until he signs. Their running backs aren't looking fantastic. Anyway.
Oh, I forgot about Jamar Chase. I should have gone Steelers.
Forgot about that. Should have gone. Oh. What?
Russell Wilson, comeback player of the year. What's he coming back from? Being rubbish.
Have the Colts winning the South.
Oh,
that's the clip. That's the clip right there. That's the clip. Ooh, and obviously the Chiefs are winning the West. I know it's boring, but there's absolutely nobody to touch them in that division, is there? They win it at an absolute canter.
Leave my beloved Chargers alone.
I'm leaving them well alone. Trust me on that.
Who's your seeded?
So Bengals are going to go in there. I got the Texans going in, and I have.
Oh, he's still deliberating.
I'm still deliberating on that wild card 7th. I just don't. I don't trust anybody in the East. I think the
Jets.
Bills. No,
Minshew
Wow.
Mania gonna carry the Raiders through.
no.
Jags. I mean, everyone's left the Jags out.
Jags
which
out.
I
don't
think
know.
they could.
Yeah,
they could
this
do
is true.
something.
I think it's either going to be the Jags or it's going to be a sneaky Broncos sneaking in as like the best of the
Ooh.
rest.
So you got no faith in the Browns? That defense last year was horrendous. Miles
No,
Garrett.
I've got
Deshaun
it is, yeah,
Okay,
but unless
sorry,
they,
Garrett,
unless
yeah,
they,
okay, he's got no faith.
they can win 6-3 with field goals only, that's all I can see them doing because their quarterback situation is a mess. An
Yeah,
absolute mess.
that's the weird thing.
Nick
Again,
Chubb's he's on pup, so he's not coming back for 4 or 5 games.
I know the Deshaun Watson thing is a thing in itself, but even like the Browns on social media have been posting clips of like other quarterbacks doing these big team talks before like preseason games. And like, I know it's preseason, but like, where is this guy that you have paid to be your franchise quarterback? Like, surely he should, like, you know, it feels
You'd be
strange.
putting him front and center, but apparently not.
I would assume so, but I guess not.
I'm in on the Browns though. That they'll sneak in because of their defense is good. But
It's hard to disagree with. Yeah, their defense
Their
was
defense is good,
ridiculous last season.
But their defense was ridiculous last season, and I don't know how long that can be kept up until that defense kind of goes. Can't do it all, guys. Like this.
as soon as you address Gary, I'm sending Miles Garrett around your house.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't come. Right.
So are you kind of feeling like,
take that
again,
one.
not to dunk on them too much, but almost like the Jets, right? They had that really good defense. They're like, right, we've got Aaron Rodgers now, we're sorted. Then Aaron Rodgers goes down, and the defense is like, well, we can't do everything. Like, we can be pretty damn good, but we can't do everything, guys.
Come
Come
on,
on.
Zach Wilson. You've got to at least throw it to your own.
Yeah, is
receiver.
that the kind of thing you're seeing then? Like, you think that the defense could
the
still be
defense
really
will
good,
produce
but if they
really
don't
good,
sort
but
of
at some
decide
point
that,
they'll just be like, we can't do it all, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
You're getting $70 million to come on, turn up. And I think eventually they'll get fed up, and then the defense will start to be less fearsome and less fear. You know, that's what I think for the Browns. So yeah, the Jags. Yeah, the Jags and the Broncos are going to be wild card. Toss a coin on that one. But as you say, the South is a competitive division, so potentially we could get a few at that.
I like you've gone Colts. I like that.
all right.
NFC.
So we got Eagles winning the East because Cowboys, as we've talked about before, are ready for an implosion. So I think the Eagles have got a clear run at number one, top of that division, shall we say? Won't say number one just yet. I have the permanently one of 4 at the North, and I love the fact that you could say each and every one of these has a legitimate shot at it. I think the Packers are a better setup.
Better head coach.
Better
That's
head
what
coach.
it comes down to me. It's better head coach.
Yeah, I think it's the coaching that's going to get them over the line there. But not by an awful lot, not by a long, not by 2 or 3. It's going to be close in that one. I have the Falcons again. South, as Paul mentioned, though, it's going to be a stinker of a division. Got the right piece now, and I think they've got enough around that QB. As long as he comes back and is fit and doesn't get injured, the Falcons should easily take the South. And obviously, I have the Niners taking the West.
That's weird. I swear I saw someone that looked exactly like you telling me why the Rams are going to win the Super Bowl the other day.
But don't discount them. Don't discount them. The Rams are definitely the team that are going to be pushing us much closer in the West and are obviously moving into the 5th seed as the best of the rest. That they will be right in there. I think the Bears will make the playoffs, and I think the Bears will push Green Bay quite high there. And then I also think the Lions are making it. I don't have any faith in, again, the East. I think the Cowboys are in an implosion. The Giants look terrible. And I think it's just a season too soon for Washington. I think they'll be much more improved. But I think it's a lot to ask for a rookie QB to take a team to the playoffs. They'll be there and thereabouts, but I think they'll just miss out on that 7th seed to the Lions.
So we were all saying that the Bears are going to have more than 9 wins. I'm not saying this, by the way. You two are saying the Bears are going to have 9 wins.
Yeah.
It feels good around the Bears, and I feel at least for as long as I have been in like into the NFL, it's never really felt like this since I've been a fan, that there's a genuine feel good factor around the Bears. Like, it almost feels like they're building up to something that could potentially parallel with what the Lions had last year, and that people are maybe expecting them to be quite good and expecting them to be better, but maybe it just kind of takes on a life of its own, and maybe they do just go. And again, I know you can't read like too much into it, but I just feel like all the clips I see on social media of like Caleb Williams, like, he is just a guy that I look at and I'm like, he just looks like the dude. Like, just the way he talks, the way he.
I was going to say, did you see the recent pendants that he got? Some of his offensive linemen.
No.
If you haven't, they're being called heart-shaped pendants.
Okay. Do you know what? I don't even care. Well, like, you know what? He's doing it. He's doing it his way.
He's doing it his way. And I think as a number one, first round draftee, number one pick, usually Bryce Young, Zach Wilson, they go into hideous situations.
Yeah.
They go into bad teams. Yeah. They go in with no weapons around them. They go in, an offensive line that's as poor as the Swiss cheese. That's not what he's gone into. He's gone into a situation with really good wide receiving core. Not the worst running back in the world. He was, leading running back. They've got all the pieces there. It's not all on him. There's enough around him where he can grow into it and get skill sets around him before flourishing.
I guess kind of like we said with like the New England situation, right? He's not just jumping into a dumpster fire. Like, it actually seems like he's jumping into somewhere that has prepared for his arrival and has got him things to work with, so that he is not just jumping into a situation where he's going to be like, okay, what on earth am I doing? Right? It seems like there is a plan in place, and it feels good. Yeah, I'm all in on the Bears. Let's go. I cannot wait to see how this pans out. Last time I was all in on a team.
So the schedule, I'm a big schedule guy. So they play Titans week 1, win.
I could see them winning that. Yeah.
Texans week 2, loss.
Sure.
Colts week 3.
Yeah, beat the Colts.
Away against the Texans.
Easy. That sounds to me.
Week 2. Matty, you want to click on that link, mate? If you want to.
Week 3 Rams.
Oh, Soldier Field or Levi South?
That is Rams. Levi South. No, Soldier Field. Sorry.
Ooh, so that could make a difference.
So again, I think that's a 2-2. Yeah, I did see this, by the way. So that is Aaron Rodgers is making an upset.
I think Matty's just waiting for that to load.
Okay.
I don't think it's true. I don't think it's real, but it was amusing.
Sorry. Yeah, moving on.
Anyway, yeah, it's not the easiest schedule, I suppose. That's one of the things, when you start to pick at it and go, oh, actually, yeah, maybe we're being maybe we've been sold the hype train ticket, and we've bought in a little bit too eagerly. But
maybe, but
then they do go. Matty, they do go.
No, go for
Panthers, Jags, Commanders, Cardinals, Patriots.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, see, that feels very doable, and I also feel that I know, kind of following on from last week, where I potentially attempted to beef the entire Lions fan base, but I feel like purely just looking from a quarterback perspective, which is obviously it's not that the entire thing, but it is a very important position. I do feel like I have a lot of faith in Caleb Williams. I don't dislike Jared Goff, but Jared Goff is Jared Goff. I think what Jordan Love did towards the end of last season was incredible, but was it a flash in the pan? Have they given this massive contract out a little bit too early? It is based on relatively quite a small sample size when he's had what 3-4 years of his rookie deal, and realistically he has had a good 7-8 games, and that is kind of what this contract is based on. So is he not that I'm out here saying Jordan Love is terrible. I'm not. I don't want Packers fans to be all up in me being like, shut up. But there is potential that they have given out this contract, and maybe he could still be a good quarterback, but will he be the guy like he was towards the end of last season? We don't know right now. So purely from that perspective, I'm like I said, I'm going all in. I can't wait to see how this makes me look very silly down the line. But right now, why not? Why not?
Mm. Right. So it's interesting. Obviously, Bengals, Bengals were that's all done. Obviously, we're all can't imagine anybody out there is going to predict anybody other team winning the AFC West, unless I can't even imagine what Mahomes. The only way that the Chiefs aren't winning that. AFC East has caused a few ins and outs. Matty leaning into the Buffalo Bills, even though we how how threadbare that team actually is. But fair play.
That one might be a tough sell. That might just be my man crush on Josh Allen going a bit too far. But again,
hey, that's why we're fans.
Said it now. It's done now.
Yeah, and I suppose the NFC North is one of those ones where we've all kind of in and outs have picked all three of those sorts of teams. And as you said, Alec, you're even there sort of going, Vikings. You've even put the Vikings in to make playoffs because it is a
good
coach, young squad. Probably the Sam Darnold might be the only reason that you maybe say that. If we're starting JJ McCarthy, the Vikings would have been in my playoff position definitely. But I just think Sam Darnold. Unfortunate. QB is so important. You've got JJ there, you've got Addison there, you've got a decent set around there. Hawkinson, unfortunately, I don't know when he's due back, and I think that will be a big miss for them.
I think he's supposed to. I was listening today. I think I heard he's missing at least the first 4 weeks of the regular season.
It's almost like he's on pup now, isn't he, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But returning after 4, maybe 5 weeks. So I think that's a bit of a loss for them. It would have been great. So that's the only way. But strange things have happened in the NFC North. Look at the Lions last year. Yeah, and surprised that Paul went for the Saints. To be honest, in the South, that one surprised me. Because we already said that, Spencer
Derek Carr's.
We already said Spencer Rattler's going to be QBing at the Saints, so I can't see how they're going to win a division with, a QB.
We've all got to have an out there prediction, right? We've all got that one that we're like.
We've all got that one. I mean, to be honest, Paul's out there prediction was the Cowboys were making the playoffs.
Perfect.
Leave that one. We'll cut that one as well. So we've got to cut the bit where I said the Colts are winning and you both win.
Yeah.
Does surprise me on that one, Gary. I do like it. Richardson. I just don't think. I think if he'd have played a few more games last season, then maybe I could see it.
I'm basing it on those first few games plus I just think he's got a bit of something about him. And I think they need that. They've still got JT. They've got a decent wide receiver core around them. They do need a decent tight end, and the tight end position at Indianapolis is a bit up in the air. They've got 4 or 5 on the roster. None of them really stand out, so that might be a bit of a weak.
Finish the season strong. Patriots, Broncos, Titans, Giants, Jags.
That could be a nice playoffs.
Get the momentum there. Yeah, it's a nice momentum shift towards the end. So there we go. Those are our way too earlys. We'll draft that up.
Not going to come true.
Not going to come true, but we'll draft them into a nice image somehow and put it out there, and you can rip it apart on the socials. It's what we do, mate. It's what we do. Whew. It's not a bad show. It's done as well. How are you feeling? Obviously, while you mentioned it, there's actually a nice segue into the socials, as we say. If you want to rip us apart and and say what you like about our predictions when we put them up there. Do please subscribe to the YouTube channel that's scrolling around the bottom there, youtube.com/sportsmaguk. You can find us on X, which is at sportsmag_UK. Guys, help me out here quickly.
I think he's nailed it. Yeah, good effort.
Nailed it. And we probably need to do what Paul does and have like TikTok and everything else. But we're still starting out.
We're figuring this out.
We're figuring this out.
Actually,
I think we're on Twitch. We've already got Twitch sorted out, so there's a start. We're on the way. We're on the way.
Don't forget to tune in next week. Big segment coming from Matty.
Oh, good Lord.
There absolutely is. Yeah, I know. We filled out a show without even running through all the segs. We are too good at this. My God.
That's a whole segment we completely and utterly bypassed.
But yeah, next week we might be cracking.
Next week, what have we calling it? Hang on, Matty, what are we calling it?
We're going to go with one piece away. I have written / massively plagiarized a bit of a song, so maybe we can write / plagiarize a lot more of it between now and next week's show. Like I said, for the moment, it's a funny podcast segment. If this actually goes anywhere, Charlie Puth's lawyers may be intact, but
it could be.
We will see. But yeah, essentially, we're going to be taking a look at teams we look at that might be one piece away from making a Super Bowl run. So
Patriots.
I'll tell you what, if you can convince me in one
piece
that the Patriots can win the Super Bowl, you can have my flat. Just enjoy it. I'll go and live in a cardboard box and do nothing but take baths in rainwater puddles for the rest of my life.
Wow.
And because I'm that confident it won't happen, but also I believe in the Chargers every single year, so you probably could do it.
He's easily swayed with Matty. So yeah,
I don't need much. Yeah, just talk to me like you pretend you know what you're on about. Sold.
Hit it, Garrett.
All right, gonna hit the outro. Thank you very much, boys. We'll see you next. So till then, thanks for watching and good night.